Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. Why are so many men dropping out of life these days? I want to talk about that. First of all, let me say I'm not qualified to do any type of lecture on this stuff. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. But I am qualified to have a conversation about it. Just to bring up the subject. Just to discuss some things as I see it. Unless you've been hiding under a rock somewhere, you know that the playing field has been tilted in favor of women today. And it doesn't matter whether you're going to college, in the workforce, certainly marriage and parenting. And I just looked at my situation. You know, the same question was asked to an Army veteran. His name is Mike Litchfield. And I want to bring light to his words. He was asked a question, but a lot of my viewers and subscribers don't read, and you would never see his quote. So I'm going to tell you what he said when he was asked that question. They asked him, why are so many men dropping out of life these days? He said, because there's no carrot. There's only a stick. He said the stick is men are working harder just to earn enough to buy food and a place to live. Everybody knows that in society today, there's a certain number that you have to reach just to scrape by. And this is what men are doing. He said the carrot is the possibility of success. You know, the beautiful wife, the nice house with children, and you know, a career that brings you some sense of pride and achievement. He said, but society has removed the carrot. He said, most average looking, average earning men have no chance of getting married and having children. And I thought to myself, this guy's on to something. He's talking to me. This is me. You know, he said that it's almost impossible to save money. And he said there's only one word that you can call somebody who works harder and harder with no rewards. He said that's a sucker. And I just thought about my situation, man. You know, I don't know. Maybe somebody with better knowledge can assist me. During family court, I guess they assigned you the same judge. She overlooked my divorce. She overlooked that bogus restraining order. She overlooked my child support. And it was an unfair situation for me. And when I look back on it now, I don't think I ever recovered until I dropped out of life in 2018. You know, one thing I do see, a lot of men are leaving the West, coming over here. They're dropping out. But what we get here, guys, is a reprieve. Because one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be in the same situation that you left. It's not a Western problem. It's a world problem. But marriage, you know, you see a lot of these videos going around now of why men staying single and why men aren't getting married and everything like that. But they leave out one thing that this woman, Helen Smith, writes in her book, Men on Strike. I'm going to put the link in the description. It's an unequal yoke now. Marriage is not equal anymore. The man does everything. We're required to do everything. The provider. We pay all the bills. A protector, she calls it an unpaid bodyguard. A maintainer, okay. Only to have to beg our wives for affection. But we're not supposed to complain. And if we complain, if we fight back, then guess what? We're hit with child support, alimony, the threat of losing half of our possessions. A restraining order may be brought against you like it was brought against me. Okay, it's too much at risk and so little to gain, really. We've been indoctrinated, ladies and gentlemen, on the role of the man in society. It's unrealistic. So men are pushing back. We're pushing back. We're taking a vacation. This is right out of that book. This lady was talking directly to me from our responsibilities, because we can. That unrealistic bullshit situation we found ourselves in. We're taking a vacation. We don't have to go through all that, because guess what? We can get sex on demand now. We don't have to put up with all that stuff. Women cheating, and we're not supposed to say anything. We're raising the children alone, and women aren't giving us any support. We're not supposed to say anything. Even if the children aren't ours, we're supposed to remain quiet. Men are pushing back. They're dropping out of life, guys, at a phenomenal rate. So many books are being written about it now. Men are coming to the realization that things aren't fair. They've never been fair. Raise your hand if you've heard of the word misandry. I hadn't heard of it until I read excerpts from this book. It's just the hatred of men and boys. It's used so little in our society that most people have never heard the word, let alone know what the meaning is. But there is a backlash against men. Okay, instead of men going their own way, I'm saying men are going on strike. Okay, if you want to tilt the playing field in the favor of women, then let the women go out and fight the wars. I was just looking in the news where all these Ukrainian men were just killed in their war against Russia. And guess who's getting killed on the other side? Russian men. Let them build the infrastructures. Let them do all of that foolishness that they expect men to do. And not complain. Just be a good man. We were talking about on my live stream yesterday how men, we're afraid to ask for help for ourselves. This woman lays it out in her book. She says we need to start asking help for ourselves, because we don't have a problem asking for help on behalf of somebody else. The congregation, our wives, our children, a cause. But when it comes to us, we won't do it, because we're seen as wimps for having problems in society. Yeah, so a lot of men are dropping out, man, of life. College, the workforce, marriage, fatherhood. We're taking a vacation from our responsibilities. We're tired, man. I'm telling you, man, the guy was right. There is no carrot, guys. That's an illusion. That's what happened to me. We're having to work twice as hard to maintain that same bullshit lifestyle. But you got to fix yourself, though. Because what you're running to is eventually going to turn into what you're running from. You're going to get a reprieve over here. It may be enough for you to come to your senses. But that's all it is a reprieve. Because you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be in the same situation that you left. Because it's not a Western problem. It's a world problem. But look up that word misandry. It's real. The court system effed me over, guys. I didn't deserve that. All in favor of this woman, you know. I'll say this if you think I'm joking. If you think that the playing field is fair, I got news for you, it's not. If a woman cries rape, boom, the man gets no due process. It's like you got to prove you're guilty until proven innocent. Your whole life could be destroyed just from being accused with no proof at all. But if a man says, you know, the woman raped me, you got to prove it beyond the benefit of a doubt. It's time that this stuff changes. I think men are waking up to this. You see guys paying child support for kids that aren't theirs. For years and years, they're not getting their monies back. Because this is something men are expected to do. These are unrealistic expectations. There's a guy, his last name is Strauss, but he did a study and he came back with the fact that women are behind a lot of this domestic violence. This guy got death threats and everything. I'll put his information in the description too, because it goes against the teachings that society beats into our head, the indoctrination. Men are dropping out of life. A lot of men are dropping out of life these days, man. They're dropping out of college, out of the workforce, out of marriage, out of fatherhood, the whole 9 yards, man. We're taking a vacation. And I don't blame us. So if you're in America, if you're in the Philippines, wherever you are, find in your heart to help somebody. Remember, I'm not qualified to do a lecture on this, but I am qualified just to bring up the topic. Let's talk about it. Have you dropped out? Or you want to drop out? I'm tired of working all those long hours for nothing. I'm tired of being married to these ungrateful ass women who know that the court system is on their side. I'm tired of trying to live up to these unrealistic expectations that society has put on me. In 2010 in the United States, look this up, over 38,000 people committed suicide. 30,000 of them were men. Where do you think that comes from? Men are leaving, man. We're dropping out of life one way or the other. So take care, stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Help somebody, guys, because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When you help other people, we help ourselves. Don't do anything stupid. Don't wear yourself out because you're not being appreciated. You're not going to be rewarded for it. Take a vacation.